Hello, everyone. So it is officially the weekend. Um, it is Saturday night, and things have been kind of crazy. Um, so I'm trying to think of where I even start. Um, it's not like crazy as in like busy. Saturday nights kind of are, but basically earlier today I had a really bad moment with my heart rate, and um I was okay. Let me go back. I've been having heart rate issues where I feel like either my heart rate is or my heart is beating too fast, or I feel like I'm gonna faint. Well, um, what happened today was earlier I was feeling kind of off or weird, and I decided to go sit on my bed and watch something. Well, as I was sitting on my bed, I felt kind of weird. So I um checked my heart rate and it was high, and then I was just feeling like really off. It go like too high, a little low. It was just kind of crazy. So I took my meds, and yeah, kind of crazy. It's been kind of hard to like plan things because I feel like I'm on edge of, like, even though I haven't like completely went out, like what if this is like the one time that I do. So we got things in place to keep me as safe as possible. Have my wristband. Um Thankfully, like, everyone like in our church um watches me really close. If anything were to happen, like in Sunday school or something like that, they would let my parents know. So um it's really hard because, like, so far we don't really know what's going on. I mean, we know that um my heart rate like speeds up, and sometimes it like does an extra beat, or I think it like misses a beat or something like that. But we don't have like a name or like a diagnosis. It's like dysautonomia, but we don't have like a name of like a condition of why it's doing that. And so far my meds doesn't don't really seem like they're helping that much. I'm on my meds twice a day, and it's still been a struggle. Um it's kind of hard to know what to do because at one point I mean, on one hand, I do um go to church. I'm very very faithful in that way, and I do think that church helps and that we need people. But at the same time, there are services that I have had to miss because of feeling so bad. And when I say feeling so bad, I don't mean like sick, I mean like with my heart rate stuff. And like, because it was like a couple of days ago, I went with my older brother to Walmart, got out of the house that way. I think it was, what was it, Wednesday? I think it was, I missed. It was one of the last services we had, I missed. But it's difficult because, like, if I go and I have a bad moment, then I'm like sitting in the back where I can't hear like any of the service. So it's like if I don't go at all. But then on the other hand, it's like I know that I need to go for like, you know, obviously to like hear the word, encouragement, prayer, those type of things. But like it's really hard when you're like really in the middle of trying to make a decision of what's best, because I feel like the best way to explain the situation is that it's like not being able to control your body with my heart rate stuff. And it's like you could be like on the edge of like fainting, and it just happens like right then and there, and all you have time to do is sit or lay down. And it's difficult. But if I have a bad moment at church, a lot of times I'll walk to the fellowship hall, or where the visiting preachers stay. Like the evangelist quarters is what it's called. But if we don't have an evangelist, I'm having a bad moment, they do have a recliner in there that I can sit in to help. But it's really scary not being able to like control how I feel. Thankfully, I go to my regular doctor on Friday, so I'm hoping that she can like maybe tell us like a different heart doctor to try. I don't know. I just know that how it is right now, it's been a big struggle because I'm on like the fence of like wanting to do certain things, but like not being able to. Singing at church is a really big deal to me. Being able to enjoy Sunday school, like the youth class, and not having to like, I guess you could say, I don't even know how to word it. Like, I guess what I'm trying to say is I wish that these episodes where I feel like I'm going to faint, I wish they weren't so like extreme to the point where I feel like I have to be like watched so often to feel comfortable, if that makes sense. And I'm really, really thankful that like our church people are like aware of the situation. And I know if anything were to happen while I was at church and my parents weren't in the room, that they would do whatever they could to help. But sometimes making decisions with having health issues is hard, especially when you don't really know what's causing the problem. So I've just kind of had to learn how to trust myself, go with what my body is telling me. Like if I'm sitting in the middle of church and I start feeling worse, like if I'm standing up and it's like worship service or something, um, I immediately sit down. If it gets worse, I go sit in the back, like in our fellowship hall. But I think for me, it's like having community, being able to see people is like really important to me, because whenever you go through something like really difficult that's like, you know, really not in your control, it knowing that there's people that care that you can like be around and stuff like that, it really does help. It's really encouraging when I, you know, tell somebody like at my church, hey, like I'm going through this and it's been like extra hard, that you know people will gather together and help us pray and do anything that they can to help. Whenever I had my first ever like medical episode at church, I was taken to the hospital, and this was, I guess it was like a few months ago, and I ended up going back to church that night, and so many people in our church came up to me saying that like I scared them and they were very concerned. And you know, I'm just really thankful that I have like a huge community of people, not just like church people, but family, friends, people on my channel that follow me that have health issues, that kind of understand some of these things. Because as hard as it is, I have a great support system and I'm very thankful for that. Um just a few minutes ago set out my church clothes, and then I take a shower for church tomorrow, and then before long we'll be headed off to bed. So thank you all so much for watching. Thank you to all my new subscribers. Sure that you subscribe if you're new, hit the notification bell. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye everyone.